We have spirit guides. We believe the statement to be true regardless who we are, where we come from, what chooses you. In the past, we have looked actually at spirit guides. The term spirit guides is generally, refers to a spirit who actually helps protect you actually on your life's journey. Spirit guides is a general term because it can reflect exactly of what they do and how they work with you within the roles. Tonight, what we're going to be doing is we are going to be looking actually at spirit guides, where you sit back and join Lady Gypsy Eva and Brother Chris.
And good evening, everybody. And my name is Brother Meme Chris, and my colleague on the other line is
The Gypsy Lady. Hello, everyone.
yes. So again, those are like our introduction. What we're going to be talking about though is actually 7 types of guides. Last week, those if you were able to catch actually our last podcast actually here on Spotify, you were able to catch sort of myself talking about actually spirit guides. Even with Eva, we were kind of talking about that with also what has happened to me in the past. So tonight we're going to dive right in. We're going to be starting with actually ancestor spirit guides. Um, so again, those like at the beginning though, for the introduction, everybody does have spirit guides, but with ancestor spirit guides, those are actually past family members, so that you have actually always had within your family that could go back down in generation of lines, though that you actually do actually have. They're actually with you. They're helping you out with on the journey of the walk, and also guiding you all together within the right way. Now, I'm going to double check with my colleague, though. Anything else so that you like to actually add actually on with ancestor spirits?
Well, ancestor spirits are, like you say, they are people from our past, but I think it's also, uh, from my experience, they can also be people from your past lives, also.
Yeah.
Um, may I use myself as an example?
Go right ahead.
One of my spirit guides is a Druid medicine lady, Celtic dress. I think it's Druid, and I went to another psychic and we were talking about it. She says, "Oh yeah, that was from your life when you were in the Druid traditions." It's like I didn't even know I was that old. And she just laughed and she said, "No, yes, that's what that means." And so you can have not only from this life but from other lives that you have lived if you want to follow that train of thought.
Yeah, that's a good example. 100% threesome is because again, those we have lived so many different past lives all together. That's one of the past episodes that we discussed. 100% though is actually about the past lives. Um, but again, though, it was like what Eva was just saying. Though we do actually have from past lives, actually the spirits from there are actually with us. So there's different ways actually all together, though that all the spirits of ancestors are with you. Um, Another example: a couple weeks ago, I was talking with another spiritual medium that lives in the building right beside us, sister building, and she said I had a full army actually on this side here of bright light, and she said it was actually all my ancestor spirits. So yeah. Alrighty. So we're gonna move actually on to our next one.
Angels.
I'll give it to Eva to do.
Well, angels are just what you think they are. They're heavenly beings, angelic beings, spiritual beings from the hierarchy of angels. And there's seven, no, nine different layers, I believe.
Yeah, 9.
And uh, I know angels, archangels, and guardian angels are in the lower tier, but they're not really lower like we have the sense of it, but they are the ones that deal with humanity, and they are the ones who actually um, are there to guide us. And according to different Christian beliefs, we are given a guardian angel when we are born and baptized into the Christian religion, so that we all have at least one guardian angel with us. I believe we have others that come in and kind of wander in. I shouldn't say wander in. They are sent to help us for one specific thing, and then they move on to help someone else. They do have specific uh, uh, duties, if you want to put it that way. And even though we call them guardian angels, actually the archangels are more of the guardians than the guardian angels. And it's kind of hard to explain to someone, and so I'm like,
Well, it's true though. People know that if you go to my personal Facebook page, actually, brother meme Chris, actually on Facebook. If you scroll through some of the pictures, you're gonna see basically a guardian angel. A couple years ago, I actually was outside, saw this weird light, and I didn't know what it was. I took a picture, and the picture though turned out to be Raphael. So sort of like what Eva was just saying, though, that we do actually have angels with us, which are actually guardian angels. Now, my guardian angel is actually Raphael. He deals more with the youth, the younger generation, like the kids and all that. So he's actually my spirit guide. I guess that's why I look so young at my age. and
stop.
and Eva's always young. So, but have you met your guardian angel yet?
Yes, in a very, how can I say it? A very human aspect. I was at a restaurant with a friend, and we came out, and there was a homeless man kind of pushing his little shopping cart. And he turned around, he walked past us, and then he turned around and he pointed his finger directly at me and says, "Drive carefully." But it was said like he was almost kind of drunk. And I looked at my friend, and my friend looked at me, and it's like, okay, we will drive carefully. That's good. So we went back, or we continued on to the car, and when we turned around, there was no homeless man there anywhere. I mean, he could not have escaped that fast. And just that few moments that we stopped to listen to him, or to, hear what he had to say, had we just gone directly to the car, we would have been involved in an accident like a half a block from the restaurant. So, yes, they're there, and they do appear, and they will help you. Just be willing to listen.
And I love that point though. Listen, and that's one thing though
Oh, yeah.
that a lot of people don't do, especially in this time in this world, is that they don't listen, right?
I'm sorry, what were you? No.
I know you, but yeah, no, always listen, right?
Yes.
If you get a small little message like in your head of something, that could be actually when your guide's talking to you.
Yes.
So it's like God. So the next one though, I'm gonna give to Eva again. But it's actually star beings.
Oh, I told you I really don't know a lot about these type of uh excuse me, guardians, guides. Um I have been told by various mediums that and they're the same, it's almost the same story, which really amazes me. But I was told that I have several guides that are not of this earth. They're not heavenly, they are of other planets. And one being, oh, for the life, it's from the belt of Orion, which the one medium told me that that's a very special one, because that's part of the Egyptian pantheon. And I'm like, oh, okay. And she says, you have several of them. as well as from Atlantis. These are also star beings. So I thought that was rather interesting. I've not done a lot of research on that. Uh, I know they're there and I know they're helping me and I appreciate it. And that's about all I can do.
Yeah, yeah. Well, again, though, it's like you said though that you don't know much. I don't know much. There's much basically because star beings though is a newer term.
Yeah,
It's a
I think
newer thing.
so.
We're more or less used to like the more traditional stuff. But I know this next one though that we actually know somewhat of better than the star beings.
Yeah,
So and this one here is basically the way I like to put it though is divine masters.
yeah.
All right, all
Ascended
right.
masters, divine
And
master.
they're basically they're kind of beings so that have actually walked here on Earth. They have been here right from the beginning all the way straight down to now. They have also shown the world exactly which way is the best way to be. You know, a lot of us, though, we do not respond the right way. One thing, though, of a divine master, though, is Christ. Right when Christ walked here actually on earth, he was not basically what most people assuming he was. He was a divine master. He was given the proper teachings to people. All right. Yeah, he had disciples, which is people to follow him. But the thing though is they were trying to follow his proper work, right? So that's actually one person though that was actually divine person actually here on earth. I don't like personally. I don't like people saying, "Oh yeah, Jesus was like all power, blah blah blah," but they don't look actually as him as a divine master,
No, they don't.
right? And I turn around to people. No, sorry, he was normal. He was a divine master though. He was here actually sent on earth to teach, and that's what he was.
And
What
one that's uh, sometimes ignored, but I think is one of the best, and that is Buddha himself was also a divine master.
so true.
Uh, I mean, the message of Jesus and Buddha are so similar. It's like they use the same guidebook or something.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mm.
It's like a, yeah. There is so many different actually on this list. There is Mother Mary, so she was a divine person. She was awesome right when she was actually here. She passed away a couple years ago, um, and she was really really awesome.
Who's that?
Um, Gosh, I forget her name though, but she was one of the nuns, and
Oh, okay,
yeah,
okay.
yeah, and she was well
Uh,
known. She was well known actually in the press and everything.
I just saw a very interesting TV show about Mary Magdalene,
Yeah,
and there is now starting to be a new understanding of her, and they are kind of putting her in the divine master or
yeah,
ascended master,
yeah,
that she actually may have been the Messiah,
yeah,
which is a very interesting thought.
yeah, and like again though is people like that. Um, it's true though. There's ways because they were actually here to teach, and that's what they did, right? So especially with her, look what she went through with her life. Right? Yeah, she was with Joseph. What the book says.
Oh, that was Mother Mary.
Mother Mary. Okay, all right. I'm so
I'm
sorry.
I'm speaking of Mary Magdalene, who was the
The nun.
no, the whore of the Bible.
Okay.
She was the one who washed Jesus' feet with her hair.
Oh, okay. Yes, yes, yes.
And like I say, there is now even some who think that she may have been the actual Messiah,
Yeah, there's actually
co-Messiah.
there's a book I read which is from actually Kyle Gray, and she's actually in the book actually as a divine master. So yeah, I'm gonna get Eva just to read through some of the names that are actually on the divine master list.
Okay, Kuan Yin, Babaji, Merlin. That's an interesting one. Saint Germain, Melchizedek, Probably said it wrong. And there's a couple others which I'm not even going to attempt to say because I'm not sure how they are said.
How the pronunciation is, yes.
Yes.
It's like
And
awesome.
I like at the end it says, and many more. And I think there are divine masters who walk among us that we don't even realize that they're there.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
take human form to help someone and continue to walk. I don't know. I don't know. It's just a little theory of mine.
Well, it's true though. It's true though, because look about right when actually some of the people though that are in the divine list, right when they walked here on
Hmm.
Earth, a lot of people didn't know, right
Yeah. Well,
until they passed away. Um. So
I'm just trying to think of some divine master that may have just, but I'm just drawing a complete blank.
yeah. Well, Eva's kind of thinking about that. What we're going to do though is we're going to go for a quick break, and we'll be right back.
Paranormal can happen at any time, so that's why our Etsy store is always open. Get your paranormal items from cleansing to protection to attraction, all available now on our Etsy store. Search Haunting Live.
Another great podcast to listen to is Haunting Live Podcast with your host Trevor, interviewing tons of people throughout the world. Listen on any of your podcast providers.
Be sure to check out our new website at HauntingLivePodcast.com. That's again those. Check out HauntingLivePodcast.com. Alrighty, so yes, be sure to check out Haunting Live Podcast. You can find Haunting Live Podcast actually on any of your podcast apps. I know pretty soon Google is going to be changing. But yeah, and also check out the Etsy store. Our Etsy store, though, we can get any spiritual items. Eva also has items actually on our store. We would love to actually be able to get out to you. Unfortunately, for the people in the States, this is a Canadian store. So, but if you'd like to be able to check out some of the items, it's actually in the Canadian version of Etsy. If you see some of Eva's items, which are actually the spiritual bags, she would love to ship them to you. So yeah, that's what she would love to do.
Let's work through them. They'll get a hold of me and I'll get them together.
Yeah. So our next one, though, actually, since we're talking about spirit guides, we're going to be talking about actually animal spirit guides, and I'm going to pass this one actually over to Eva.
No. Oh, wait. I was channeling there. Sorry. Animal spirit guides. Now they call them totems or power animals. I think like ancestors that coming back, I also believe there are certain animals that will come back into our lives. And sometimes not just as a spirit, but as an actual animal again. I've had a couple people who asked me about a cat, some cats, and some dogs. So yes, I do think that um, uh, these animals that like totem type animals, like the wolf, the bear, the which one is yours? Crow? No,
So
mine's crow.
no, mine though is a peacock.
The
Sorry,
peacock.
not peacock. Sorry, mine is. Oh gosh, just trying to remember now. It starts with a P. It lives in the wild. It's a bird.
Penguin?
No, and it actually pecks on the trees.
Woodpecker.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Some of these animals are revered by various religious group or various peoples. Let's put it that way. And some of them are the same cross culture, like the snake. I find it most interesting. In many cultures, the snake is the serpent is very revered because they brought knowledge to humankind.
Yeah.
And yet in Christianity, the serpent is an evil being because he led them away from God when all he was trying to do is give them knowledge. And some of the animals, like the vulture, people think of vultures as feeding on decay and all this others, but there are various cultures that look at the vulture as a very sacred animal. And the jaguar. Oh, they are gorgeous animals to begin with. I can see why they were worshipped. My goodness. And like I say, that one too is across culture. You see it in North America, South America, even into Central America, and various jaguar type animals that are on the African continent.
Yeah.
And these animals are very special because many times they aren't just in spirit; they are in flesh. You will see a fox in the field, or a wolf, or you'll something in that line, and it is the spirit guide speaking to you. Again, all you have to do is listen. And anything else?
Yeah. Well, again, though, is so with that one bird that I explained, that's actually my birth month spirit. But altogether, for mine though, yeah. So going from water, land, and then actually the sky. So water though is actually orcas. For people that don't know what orcas are, they're killer whales. Now, I do actually have, whoops, it's actually hidden, but I do actually have a sort of a orca here that I wear. I always wear it. Even right when I was in the hospital, actually, I had it close by me. The other one, though, actually for land, though, which I would say though is kind of like a dog. Love dogs and everything else, but I'm more or less an animal person altogether. And then with the sky, though, I'm actually a hawk, like an eagle. It's basically what I am. Those I like to look over top of everything and observe it all, and see what areas can be actually fixed up, and try to fix it that way.
Well, land is cat, any cat. Uh, air is or sky is crow, and water I'm not too sure of. I haven't really been given that one yet, but that's okay.
Yeah.
And the crow is very interesting because I was given it in a kiva, a sacred uh, ceremony. It was very interesting because he says, and brother crow is no, that's sister crow, because in many traditions, crow is feminine.
Yeah.
And he came back, he says, no, it is brother crow. And I'm told that's a very special, that it would go against it. And crow has always been good to me. I always get messages from crow.
Yeah. Well, you would definitely more in your area, right where you live, right, compared to living actually in the city bound,
Yes.
right? So yeah, it's like so our next one though that we're going to be looking at though, this one here, Eve and I were just talking about before we actually went on tonight, um, is about gods and goddesses. Um, we're not too familiar really with that. It's this one here is basically what we would say though is more or less a newer term. Yeah, there were so many people that actually have worshipped so many different actually gods altogether. Right when they've actually walked here actually on Earth, some of them were actually positive, some of them are negative altogether, which is like normal life. But again, this is one though that we're not too familiar with. If you guys want to be able to read up about that yourself, you can read that actually underneath Google, or even check out your local libraries. Your local library should actually have some books about that. So, our next one though that we're going to be doing though, is one of Eva's kind of favorite, and because this area here is a large area altogether. Um, and this next one though is
Elementals.
yeah. So elemental spirit guide. So go ahead, Eva.
Well, elemental, when you think of elemental, you think of earth, fire, air, and water. 4 elements. And depending on which element you're dealing with, they have different spirits within them. They list gnomes as the earth one, undines with water. And the two for air and the one for air and the one for water, or fire, excuse me, I can't even pronounce them, but they say the one for fire is salamanders. This is not one that I'm that familiar with or that educated with. I'm sorry.
Well, you know about normal elementals, so.
Hmm. And I think what they're talking about here are more like, how can I say it? Leprechauns,
Yeah.
fairies,
They're squatch.
those kind of things. Huh?
They're squatch.
Well,
So, because squatch is classified underneath the elemental
okay.
family. Yeah. So
Okay, I'll if that's what I'll go with it. But I don't know that people are that connected to these anymore,
yeah.
or I shouldn't say anymore, but aren't that connected at this time. I think because we don't have that connection like we used to. We've gone from a agricultural world to an urban world, and we've lost that, which is very sad.
Yeah.
Because I think they're still there. We just aren't looking for them.
Yeah, and it's true though, because a lot of people have lost touch, right? Because they're always busy with their own world. They're always busy within larger cities, but living on the country area, you've got more
Well,
open minded than living actually in the city,
well,
right?
I used to know different people. It would be my grandparents' age levels, and they could look at the sky and know what was happening. They could look at the earth and tell what would be growing there. I remember one time this man scooped up the soil, held it to his nose, and says, "This soil needs this, this, and this." It's like, now I was a young child at the time, so I didn't really get the import of it. But that's how in tune to the earth that they were.
Yeah.
Or they would look at the sky and says, "Yep, we're going to get rain. It's going to be a long one." It's like, how do they know that? Besides the aches and pains, but I mean, they just would look at the way the sky was, and they would know. That's how in tune they were.
Yeah, talking about that stuff there's one guy I watch on YouTube. Just a few acres. I think that's the name of the show. Right, and he was working for the city. He was an economics person. Basically, though, he left his job to go live out in the country, right where his grandfather used to live. Nowadays, you watch his stuff, and he's more in tune nowadays to the actually spirit, like the earth and all that. Like, yeah, he actually has cows. He's got pigs. He's got chickens and turkeys, right? But he's more in tune now, and it's like, holy cow! Watching farmers as a city person, though, you get to learn quite a bit, right?
And if you get a chance, you should really talk with some of the old farmers, which they're slowly leaving us. Um, I think it's my grandfather would have been 106 on his next birthday, 107. And he's been gone for quite some time. And, the knowledge that he took with him of the earth, sea, and sky, it's gone. But let's get on to a happier thing here. I'm getting,
Well, yeah. So
I miss my grandpa.
our last one though, we're going to be actually talking though, from us talking tonight about some of the spirit guides actually out there. We hope though that you've actually learned, right? If you
Excuse me.
gets you tight. If you guys do need help actually for connecting with your spirit guides, we're here. Our websites are actually, sorry, not websites, sorry, our emails are at the end. Drop us a line. We would love to hear from you guys. And also the spirit guides are always with us. So
Oh, yes, they are.
again, those, like what Eva was saying tonight, basically those open up your ears. Meditate if you have to. Right, and listen. So.
Or just, you don't even have to meditate. Just go to that quiet place where you can just let go and let God. And you'll get an answer. Sometimes it comes very strangely and you're thinking, where did that come? Well, you asked for it. You know, people just, I don't know, people sometimes just don't listen to even the people that are talking to them, much less to their spirit guides, which is a sad thing. But I really enjoy talking about spirit guides because they're there for us. And all we have to do is listen. And it doesn't take that much. You don't have to be a meditative genius or whatever you want to call it. You just have to be quiet and listen. And like I told my spirits guides, you get that 2x4 out because, man, I'm not going to hear it any other way. And believe me, they have listened. And there are times when it's like, not only did I get it going in, I got it coming out. Both sides.
Yeah. And about the 2x4, one of our neighbors, so that I recently met, she was just up here a couple days ago, and I was bringing about your 2x4.
Mm-hmm.
Right, I explained this to her, and she said, "Oh, that actually as a spiritual medium, right? She also gets the 2x4." So yeah, right. I was like,
Yes.
okay,
They listen. They do what you want.
yeah,
They know how to get your attention.
yeah. So again, though, is if you guys have any questions or concerns, please be able to get in contact with us. Our emails are actually at the end, and they're posted actually on our Etsy page. We do say thanks a lot for tuning in to this episode of Spirit Guides. We'll be coming back again with more Spirit Guide information for you guys. Again, though, thank you very much, and you guys have a wonderful day.
Have a great week, everyone, and take care.
Book for your private readings with Gypsy Lady Eva at gypsyladyeva49@gmail.com or book with Brother Chris at divineoraclereadings@gmail.com. You could have listened to the radio. You could have spun some vinyl. You could have played a cassette tape. But you listened to Divine Oracle Readings on underneath Spotify. Another great podcast to listen to is Haunting Live Podcast with your host Trevor, interviewing tons of people throughout the world. Listen underneath any of your podcast providers.